welcome back to my channel. It's Angie from Feeling a Little Bookish. I thought, okay, so first thing, I cannot commit to a monthly TBR. Like, I cannot have a set list of books that I need to read from the first of the month to the end of the month. I can't. Like, I'm such a mood reader that sometimes I'll have a book that I want to read and I'll start it and be like, I'm not in the mood for this right now. I need something light, or I need something heavier and, you know, darker and sad, or whatever the case is. So I've decided that I am going to start a monthly segment, aka just a monthly video, and it's going to be called Some Books I Want to Read. Not I want to read, some books I want to read. So this will be the first video for that. So essentially they are books that I want to read, but I don't know when I'm going to read them. I don't know how many of those books I'm going to read at once. Not at once, but at a particular moment in time. But they are books that I want to read. And they are books that are in the back of my mind, that if I see the cover on KU or anywhere else, I'll be like, oh yeah, that is a book that I want to read. Now, the way I'm going to keep track of this is every time I do a video for some books I want to read, I'm going to have it on a list in my book. I have a notebook. And when I do get to it, like whenever I read a book, I'm just going to like check it off. And in my wrap-ups, I'll be like, oh, I read Mr.Masters. And this was in video 2 of some books I want to read. So here's a review for it. So I figured I could do that, because instead of saying to you guys that I want to read books A, B, and C for the month of July, and then I do my wrap-up and post in August, and books A, B, and C are not there, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, she said she was going to read these books, and she didn't, and we don't know if they were good. So, anyway, let's get started on my first video for some books I want to read. So first thing, although I'm pretty sure I said that already, I want to show you guys my May-June Mystic box, and the featured artist, well, yeah, the featured author is Pepper Winters, and so yeah, let's get to it. So this is the postcard that came in it, because every box comes with like a little postcard and a book and a pin and a bookmark and 2 special edition just for Mystic Box hardcovers of some surprise books. So there's this, and then here is the pin. I have never read any Pepper Winters books. I actually started Ruin and Rule, and then for whatever reason I stopped reading it. I didn't have a particular reason as to why. I just stopped reading it, and that was a few years back. But the books that came in this box, I definitely want to read. And then we have the art book, so like the artwork book, and like the front of it says art inspired by Pepper Winters books. And so like there's this. I won't let you guys see. And then there's like the Q&A they did in this one as well. Oh, and there's a recipe in here for super easy creme brulee. I'm gonna make it. And then there's the bookmark, and this is the front of it. So if you've read the books, like if you read Pepper Winters books, I'm pretty sure everything I just showed you'll probably know what's featured in the box. And then here are the books that came with it. So there's Tears of Tess, and this is essentially about Tess, who goes on a romantic trip to Mexico, and she gets kidnapped. And she ends up falling for her kidnapper. And then there's book 2. So it's called Quintessentially Q. Aren't these covers like stunning? And this is a continuation from book 1. So also what I like is that they have a page in the book where the author signs it, and it says this signed edition is printed exclusively for Mystic Box, which is pretty cool. So I know for July and August's Mystic Box, the featured author is Sierra Simone. I haven't read any of her books, so I'm actually looking forward to that box. Because like I've heard so I have Priest on my Kindle, and I've heard so many things about Priest, and I haven't read it yet. So I'm hoping if I get the special edition, like if that series is what's in the July August Mystic Box, that you know I can read it. But yeah. Anyway, so some books I want to read. Let's get to it. First book that I want to read is Mr.Masters by T.L. Swan. So this is an age gap nanny book. So Julian is Mr. Masters and Bree is the nanny for his kids. And I mean, obviously something happens. So yeah, it sounds interesting. Again, like I'm evolving because I'm now reading more books that have kids in it. But I just hope they're not bratty kids. Like, I don't want to read a book about a bratty kid, you know? So, we'll see. But it has really good ratings, and it's Teal Swan. So, like, come on, it has to be good. And the next book that I want to read is book 2. So, Sancte Diaboli, book 2 by M.O. Jones. I've had this on my KU since it came out. I haven't gotten to it. My intention is to get to it sooner than later because I've read all the other books in the Elite Kings Club series, and I love Nate, and I love Bradley, and I just really hope no one dies. I don't know, but I feel like I'm gonna be ruined. I feel like once I finish the series that my life is just gonna feel empty because I love the whole series, but I especially love Brantley and I especially love Nate. And when people were reading book 2, they were like, oh, my life, and like, you know, sadness and shock, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm prepared for this, but yeah, we'll see. And then the next book on my books I want to read is Start a Fire by Jay Wolf. So this is like a dark romance, bully romance, high school setting. It's been compared to Untouchable by Sam Mariano, and if you know me, you know I enjoyed that book, even though bits and pieces of me are like, girl, why'd you enjoy that book? Not because of the writing, but because I made it past the 3rd chapter, like the first 3 chapters. But anyway, if Sebastian from Start a Fire is like Carter Mahoney, I'm down for it. And Grace, her last name's Patel. Is she brown? Like that? I was like, I gotta read this then. And then the next book that I want to read is Malice by Coralee June. This is a mafia reverse harem book. What I gathered from the blurb is that it centers around a mafia family, and there's like the friend of maybe the mafia princess in that family, and she becomes enchanted by the brothers of the family. I'm down for a reverse harem. I am. And the next book on my list is Hello Stranger by Jade West. This is an age gap book. Like there's strangers that meet on a train, and at one point they're reading the same book or each other's favorite books, and then it progresses from there. At least that's what I got from just reading the blurb. Hey, I'm down for strangers meeting, and I'm down for age gap. So I'm down for this book, and at some point I will read it. And next on my some books I want to read is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Okay, I started listening to this. audiobook. And I got to the part where it's like the very first chapter. I started listening to it, and then I stopped. I didn't stop because it's bad. I stopped because I'm like, you know what? I need the actual copy, like a physical copy, or I need it on KU to read, because I don't want to listen to this. Like, I actually want to see the words, and I want to devour the words, because I feel like I'm going to save a lot of quotes. I like saving quotes. So, and they come in handy because I use them for my reviews on Instagram. Anyway, so there's that. And she has this whole other series based on the kids from this series. So I'm like, okay, if I want to get to like the heir and the bully and the spy and the books from that series, I need to start on like the actual series. So I'm going to start from here and take it from there, and then work my way up to the kids series. And finally, the last book on my Some Books I Want to Read first video is The Stopover by T.L. Swan. This is a book centered around two characters who meet on a plane. They have a one-night stand. A year passes, and the heroine, her boss, is the same guy that she had her ONS with. So, I mean, it's T.L. Swan. He's a Miles brother. It's gotta be good, right? It has to. And I'm down to read about one-night stands. Listen, I'm down to read about a lot. My threshold is when it comes to kids. Either in despicable ways that they're being used in books, or if they're bratty. But I don't think this has kids in it. I don't think so. But like, if you're telling me they had a one-night stand and then it turns into more, I want to read how that progresses, because I don't know about that. But it's T.L. Swan, so it should be good. And he's a Miles brother, so why not? But that is my Some Books I Want to Read video 1. I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. This is what I'm going to do now, because I don't want to do TBRs. I can't commit to a TBR. I can commit to everything else in my life, just not a TBR, because my moods are like this. And I'll sometimes want to read, you know, something like Stopover, but then I'll want to read something like Savage by Caitlin Dare. Oh, this is going to be featured in my wrap-up for July, because I actually read this in one day. But I'll show you guys it now. So this is the cover. This is Savage by Caitlin Dare. It can be considered a reverse harem. There's 3 guys in it, but really only the heroine, she only really gets involved with 2 of the guys who happen to be on the same motorcycle club. But it's good, and it's not that long, and I'm looking forward to book 2 because of the way that book 1 ended. So yeah, but that, again, I'm gonna say it. Thank you for tuning into my Some Books I Want to Read video 1. Next month I'll have more of some books that I want to read, but I just don't know when I'm gonna read them. So we'll see. If you guys have any suggestions on books that I should read, if you have any comments, if you've read any of the books that I featured in today's video, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next month. Take care. Bye.